Hi guys, welcome to our chicken coop. Alright, so this is our chicken coop. If you guys have watched some of the other videos, then you've seen the coop being built, the run being built, but today we're going to give you a tour of the coop and the run. So, this is our run. Like I said, you've probably seen some of the video of it being built. However, you can see we've got hardware cloth surrounding the sides and the roof. We didn't put a predator apron on the outside of the run. We actually put it on the inside of the run and stapled it to the inside. That just worked better for us based on the spacing because we are up against a fence on the back side of it. And it's actually worked out really well. We dug down quite a bit, put the metal down, and then covered it up with dirt, and then we used sand on the inside of our run for various reasons. That was what we chose to do, and it's worked out really well. We've had no problems so far. Granted, we're in more of like a neighborhood kind of setting, so it's not like we've got foxes like some people, but we do have possums and we have raccoons. We have lots of cats, so it's worked out so far. This is the door of our run. We've actually got two different latches on it. We have this here for safety. We also have this one here. We can just open up. And of course the chickens are gonna run out, and that's okay because the cats are up. Come on out, guys. Alright. So moving on around, we actually haven't completed the roof just yet. We have half of it covered with some of that corrugated plastic, just for, rain. But they are under this tree, so they get tons of shade. It keeps them really cool, and it does actually block out a lot of the rain, so the floor and the run stays dry most of the time, even though we only have about half of it covered. We do plan on continuing that roof and completing it though. In addition to the shading of this really cool tree that they have that's going to keep them nice and cool and some of the rain off of them, we did put this piece of shade cloth up right here because we've got sun that comes in this way and shines right into the run in the early morning, and so just to keep them a little cooler in the first part of the day, we did put some shade cloth up here. And you can kind of see our connection from our coop to our run right here. It's really cool actually. We've got our nesting boxes right here on the outside of the coop. Down here, we've actually got a self-watering system. We did buy some cups online. They're the ones that have a spring in them and will actually refill continuously once the water's drank out of the cups by the chickens. And then over on the back side of underneath our coop, we have a self-feeding station. We actually put the feed in right here. We've got this really cool top that keeps it really nice and strong, and they can't get into it, or excuse me, predators can't get into it. Oddly though, I don't think it looked like this yesterday. I feel like something's chewed at it. You see that? I don't think it was like that yesterday when we put feed in it, was it?
Nope.
Nope. Something's been chewing at it
to try to get in.
A squirrel. Yeah, that wasn't like that yesterday when we filled it. So yeah, something's been trying to get in there and it can't. So that's awesome. Anyway, but the feed drops down the tube and it kind of separates down here. And we've got two open spots on each side for the chickens to eat out of. So we also recently, on the back side of our the back side of our coop, added another vent for the summertime because we want to make sure they stay cool at night when they're in there. So this is really cool. I put a piece of hardware cloth on the inside of this hole, and in the wintertime, if we want to close it, we just do that. But right now we're going to keep it open because we are in the beginning of June and we want to make sure that they stay nice and cool at night and they don't get too warm. So, and then over here on the end of the coop we have our two main vents. There went the snowman. We have a roost right here underneath these two vents, and this is where all 4 chickens sleep at night, with with their little heads so that they can look out the little vent windows here. It's actually really funny. So, oh, the other thing I want to show you is what I call the chicken escape hatch. We have another really cool little door down here with a lock and a handle that we can open up and let them come out this way so you can actually see better our watering system and our feed system in here. Yeah, we originally built this door, or we built this door so that we could potentially build another covered run here so that we could just let them out into something covered and we wouldn't have to, you know, chicken watch. This is our chicken meadow. We actually planted some seed here that's got clover and some other stuff in it that they're really supposed to love so that they can get out there and scratch and eat the clover. And so this is what we call our chicken meadow. And down past the chicken meadow, as you can see, we've got what is the beginning of our compost pile. And we've got a couple of the ladies out here digging through it right now. Alright, so let's look inside the run. So we do have a spring on our door so that it will close automatically behind me when I come in, and I don't have to try to, you know, get the door closed real quick so that the chickens don't run out if I'm not ready for them to go out. And we also have this really cool handle on the inside, and the latch that's on the outside is on a wire, and so I can actually close myself in here and the door latch. So if I pull it closed and I push that wire through and I kind of wiggle the door a little bit, now it's latched. And so we're inside and the door is safe and I'm inside with them and we're good. But when I want to get out, I pull the door towards me, pull the wire, it releases the lock here and I'm able to walk on out. Alright, so if you watched the build of the coop and the run, or even just the run, you'll notice there's some things in here that weren't in here before. So Kai built this really awesome roost here along the back because, you know, obviously that's what chickens like. They want to get up and hang out and find that highest spot. So they do sit on this periodically throughout the day, and even in the evenings when the sun starts to go down, they do get on it and hang out for a little while before bed. So we've got this roost here in the back, and then we also found some natural wood pieces when we were out one day, and he put together this second roost here that they seem to like quite a bit because, again, it's that natural wood, so it probably feels good to their little clawed feet. But we have sand in here as mentioned. It's a little messy right now because we gave them some grass clippings and some other things yesterday that they decided to just scatter about, which is what chickens do. As you can see, we have our ramp here, which heads on into the coop. We've got the shade cloth, which I mentioned, we put up on the inside here so that it keeps the sun off of them in the early morning when it gets really hot in here.
I think it was a waste of time to paint that white because that was the first thing they pooped on.
It's true. It's true. They were in here a whole maybe 10 minutes when we brought them home, and they'd pooed brown all over the white ramp. So yeah, I think when we spray it off and clean it, we'll repaint it brown. So that's our run. So let's walk outside again and we'll head around and we'll take a peek at the nesting boxes, because I actually haven't been able to be out here as much as I wanted to today, so I haven't actually looked to see if we have any eggs. So let's go see if we have some eggs. So what we did here was we wanted to make sure that the nesting box stayed really safe. So Kai kind of fabricated a end piece here for our lock so that we can get in really easily to our nesting box, but it's really safe too. So here we go. So it looks like we have 3 eggs. So 3 of our 4 chickens laid today. One of those is the faux egg, and we have a faux egg over here in this nesting box as well. So it looks like all 3 of them used the same box today, which is pretty normal. So I'll come back out here and collect these shortly. Alright, so then looking inside the coop itself, we've got what seems like Fort Knox on these doors. But again, if you've watched the video where Kai actually built the coop, these are reclaimed pieces, basically, things that we had. This is an old cabinet. So we did want to make sure that it was safe. Even though we wanted to be able to use the things we had to make the coop, we wanted to make sure it's safe too. So we've got an eye hook lock here. We've got this lock here also that kind of keeps the doors closed. And then in addition to that, he recently added these two down here, which we've got these little carbiner clips on to keep locked so that the raccoons cannot get in. Now we can open the cabinet doors. So this is the inside of the coop. And as I was referring to earlier, this is the stoop we have on the inside of the coop that all 4 of our chickens like to sleep on at night and peek out the little vent windows. Okay, so I had mentioned the vent that was recently put in on the far side. As far as these vents here, when we were thinking about, winter time, because obviously we're always thinking about trying to keep them cool, but we want to keep them warm too, but ventilated at the same time. So again, because this was an old cabinet and it was repurposed, we still have the drawer fronts that go on this. And the way that Kai built this is we can put these drawer fronts back on to close up these vents in the winter time. So we can close up both of them if we feel like it's necessary, or we can close up only one. But even if we close up both of them, we still have this opening up here at the top with the hardware cloth behind it still yet. That gives them some ventilation, even if it were really cold and we thought we would need to close these vents up. So we've got drawer fronts for both sides from the old cabinet that this was built from. And then when I want to take it back off and put it up, I'm going to slide it back in here behind this, slide this piece of wood down, and then it's secure. And it's stored on the inside, so we don't have to find a spot for it. As far as the inside of the coop goes, and how we kind of maintain the shavings and keep it clean and whatnot, we have this really cool little piece of wood here at the front that acts like a barrier between our shavings and the door here. It's got these pieces of wood here that we can just kind of slide it in and out of like a track. So I can take this out. And this is linoleum underneath, so it's protected from any dampness from all of the lovely chicken poo and pee. And when I'm ready to clean it, because of the height that this is at, I can just pull the wheelbarrow over, park it right here, take my rake or broom or whatever I'm using, and just scoop all of the dirty shavings out into the wheelbarrow. And then I can go over and dump it on the compost. So it's really easy to keep clean, it's really easy to access, and it's worked out great so far. Okay, so now we want to show you the door to the coop. So we actually have it on a pulley system, kind of. And like I said, if you've watched the other videos, it was made of some parts from an old exercise machine, which just works out perfect for us. And it is built in such a way too that somebody short like me can still open and close it without having any issues. So anyway, here's our line right here. Here's our handle, like I said, old exercise equipment. Right now we have the door open, of course, because we want them to be able to go in and out all day. And we have it locked in basically on a screw here. So I'm gonna unhook it. I'm gonna kind of walk around the nesting boxes here. And I'm just gonna watch the door as it closes, because obviously I just wanna make sure nobody's in there and I'm not dropping the door on anybody. And then in the mornings when I come back out, I say good morning to them, and I open the door, and I walk it back around here, and I park it up here on this screw, and that's how the door stays open. Alright, so I hope that you enjoyed this tour of our chicken coop and run. If you weren't able to yet see the builds for either of these, for the run or the coop, those links will be in the description below. Take a look at those and you'll see how these things were actually built. So we hope that you will like and that you will subscribe, and thanks for taking this tour with us of our chicken coop and run.